I'm Christina Giordano, the founder of Sold, your go-to resource for soulful entrepreneurship. And my philosophy is this: people can no longer be sold to, they must be sold to. That is SOUL''. But in order to sell with soul, you have to be sold and yourself first. This is marketing and manifesting with nothing but the essence that is you. This is business that begins within. This week's episode is called The New Meaning of Pressure. Now, as a reminder, this is just a preview of the full episode that you can find on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, it's Sold by Christina Giordano. You can find those links in the description here. Now, I'm writing and recording this episode during the week of July 20th. There are a lot of collective shifts underway, and I can feel the energy building. I'm personally moving through a portal myself, and while I normally share what I'm moving through as I'm moving through it, this one feels sacred. So I'm going to update you all on what this week has uncovered for me in the next episode next week. But for this episode, I want to dive in a little deeper into the pressure of the holding pattern and how it shifts as you're nearing convergence. Now, just as a reminder, the holding pattern follows completion of both the methods of expression and the methods of containment up to the hold method. Convergence happens the moment your external reality catches up to your internal orientation. Because you've spent the last several days, weeks, and months oriented toward what is true for you and stabilized within your signal. Because of that, you get to a point where you reach the end of your capacity in terms of what you are no longer willing to tolerate externally or carry. Reality has no choice, therefore, but to now show up. This part of the process demands a tremendous amount of integrity and capacity. And if you've been listening to my episodes for quite some time, you know that the gap is there and you can only perceive it because of the internal coherence you have established within yourself. You aren't able to perceive the gap without it. You know what is true for you and you won't negotiate with it. This is why there is so much pressure, because the tension between who you are and what you currently see in your reality is real. But the pressure has a purpose, though. And in the last few episodes, I've talked specifically about the capacities you build within this phase. You need to be able to hold the reality that reflects what is true for you, and the pressure builds you into the person who can hold it. You can't skip this step, unfortunately. And it must be lived, not just intellectually understood. The good news is, however, that the pressure changes. And today I want to talk about that specific shift. So let's start with this. There comes a point in your journey where the pressure doesn't disappear, it changes. The same tightness in your chest, the same heightened awareness, the same sense that something significant is unfolding. But instead of telling you to move or fix or escape, the pressure begins asking something entirely different of you. In this episode, I explore what happens as you near what I call convergence within the soul trajectory, and why the pressure of the holding pattern starts to feel fundamentally different. We'll talk about the shift from urgency to openness, from reaction to restraint, and from building your life around external conditions to becoming the independent source of your own momentum. I also share a deeply personal realization I've recently moved through, one that has completely changed my relationship with pressure, participation, and surrender. If you've ever wondered where your responsibility ends and where something greater begins, this conversation is for you. Because surrender isn't the absence of participation. It's what becomes possible after full participation occurs. So in this episode, you'll learn why pressure changes as your internal coherence stabilizes, the difference between urgency and readiness, how restraint protects the integrity of your signal, why reactive momentum always scatters your energy, the distinction between resignation and trust, what it means to participate fully before making what I call the handoff, and finally, how to recognize the boundary between your stewardship and divine stewardship. I hope you enjoy this episode. Again, you can find it in the links below. And until next time, be well and take care.